All right, everybody. Second round with Dr. Stu being in town. All right. I am so wonderfully blessed to be able to have my good friend Dr. Stu coming to town, and he is assisting me with some very interesting aspects. And the primary thing is when you have pain and you have dysfunction, that's one thing. But when it comes to weakness and the other aspects of why is it not working the way it should be, I have been incredibly blessed throughout the years to be partnered with you throughout the years. And I am more than excited to be able to actually start bringing this to Sarasota and the surrounding area to start helping people train not just for those aches and pains, but train
Mhm.
for those things that you want to do that bring you joy. And when you came down the last time, my gosh, that was fun. So I want to
Mhm.
say thank you so much for coming down. Appreciate you so very much, Stu.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go over a couple things that I took away from you coming down and what you showed me. You told me about it ways back, and I put it on the shelf and I kind of didn't do too much about it. But when you showed me ankle dorsiflexion, knee drive to be able to impact hip mobility and everything up through the chain, that alone, when I saw it, client after client after client after client, from 17-year-old to Olympic to my age and even above, every single person had some level of ankle drive that would help their entire chain work so much better. Can you tell me more
Mhm.
about that?
Yeah, sure. I think we take for granted the mobility of our feet and our ankles. And if we think about it, that is the only thing that connects our body to the ground. So with all the types of footwear that we have and the lack of motion that we have on a daily basis. Most people don't really articulate their feet with a solid surface and don't have that understanding of what's actually supposed to happen from a mobility and balance standpoint. So that starts to take away from the body's ability to apply those things when they do need higher level of demand exercises or movements, specifically in deceleration. So anything bringing your body down to back to earth and slowing against gravity. And some people have to do it a lot faster than others. But typically, in our orthopedic trauma cases, that is when the bad stuff happens, especially in the lower extremities. So, quite simply, in the complex of the lower extremity, the ankles and the hips have to work together in order to allow the knees to just kind of follow along. And if we think about it, the knees are a stable joint. It demands stability. Hence why all the injuries we see typically are damages to the soft tissue structures like the ligaments, the tendons, and then also the menisci that are cushioning that joint. But when the ankle and the hip can provide that mobility, the knee can just kind of follow along. So I think it's a little bit of a re-education in showing the body, showing the person and the athlete what's supposed to happen and reteaching it because innately we all kind of go through that as we're developing through our pediatric fundamental movement patterns. And then the more sedentary and less active we become, we kind of lose that.
Excellent. So, the one thing that you awoke in me, and all my clients basically know how much I enjoy the ballroom dancing,
Mm,
and the difficulties I was having in my left knee, and when you came down to be able to educate me into something very simple. When I kick my leg out, when I kick my foot out, that knee, that quad is an engine. But when I drop myself down and I settle into a slightly flexed position, that knee and all of that tissue is now a brake. And that, what you stated in a decelerative aspect, is absolutely massive. To be able to hold yourself and control yourself in a decelerative capacity was probably the biggest eye opening aspect that you gave me when you came down. And to be able to impart that to the clients, to everybody else, and those I have yet to see,
Mm.
to be able to make sure that your brakes are incredibly strong so that your engine can be as strong as you want it to be. Everybody wants an engine to be able to drive, but if your brakes stink, you're not going to use that engine. Is that
Hmm.
about right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that hits on a neurological level too, because the how our movement is controlled is everything's done by the brain. And so if the brain doesn't have trust in the body's capacity to control movement, it starts to take that away. And and usually it takes it away by giving us signals. And the loudest signals are number one, pain, and number two, nausea. So
Mm.
we can all kind of imagine that in an orthopedic case, the loudest noise is going to be pain, and then in obviously the extreme cases, nausea. So I'll just to give you an example on a higher neurological level, if somebody has stuff issues with their vestibular system, vertigo, dizziness, nausea, all those come into play. But again, that's that brain screaming for help because it's interfering. The system is faulty, and it's interfering with the body's and brain's capacity to determine which way is up. So, likewise, in the orthopedic world, if our biomechanical patterns are not efficient, if they're not effective, our brain knows well that it's if we continue that course of action, we will eventually break down. And so it tries to send us these engine-like signals, pain, to give us forewarning. But oftentimes in our world nowadays, we look at pain and we say immediately, just shut down, stop doing everything. Well, of course you're going to get better because you're not doing anything. You're not doing the aggravating factor. But when you come off your rest period and return, and there's been no relearning, there's been no education as to how to correct the movement pattern, then you're right back into the same cycle. And then typically what people do is they pick up from where they left off, and then they just keep on adding more and more loads. And then now they're in a worse predicament usually.
Excellent. So, in simply put, that's going to be a huge piece for a lot of people to be able to digest.
Hmm.
So, when you come down, well, we got July 9th and 10th. All right.
Hmm.
So we got 2 days to come down, and we're looking at consults and full workups, full workouts. What you just said is a really heady piece to be able to digest. What I want to break down is what I saw from you and your last visit. And that last visit really, it brought me back to when I worked with you, as well as holy crap, there's a whole bunch of new fun stuff that you're working with that I have yet to touch.
Hmm.
And the level of balance, vestibular, what your eyes do, where you move, how you walk forward, backward, how you balance yourself, how you carry a load, how you decelerate your body, meaning break. It's one thing to explode, but it's another thing to be able to hold yourself and a dog hits you from behind the knee. Can you catch
Hmm.
yourself?
Hmm.
For the clients in and around the Sarasota area, we have some athletes, and you know what? I see everybody as an athlete. But as a
Hmm.
whole, to be able to make sure we all are doing what we love and what brings us joy. I just can't say enough what I saw out of you to be able to bring out of the clients that did see you last time. And can you tell me a bit about what you saw out of my clients and what would be some of the prescriptions and some of the things and some of the commonalities that you would see going forward?
Hmm. I think the biggest thing in the majority of the sessions that we have, it's bringing an awareness about to the person, increasing the awareness about their own body. And you know this about how I practice is I want to empower others. Um, yes, I am a physician, but I don't want to necessarily just be an authoritarian role. I want to be a teacher. And I think from an expectation standpoint, I want people to come in and have that openness to learn about their bodies. How can they learn how to do something better so they can get out of pain? How can they learn how to do something so that they can perform better? How can they learn so that they can maximize their performance and be the best that they can be in whatever realm that they're doing, right? For me, I'm a former athlete, so again, I've gone through a lot of trials and errors, and yes, there's some textbook stuff, but I would say the vast majority is anecdotal and then application to now prove everything that we've been doing. And a lot of practitioners that are along the same mindset of what we do of merging that rehabilitation to human performance model. We are all pretty much in agreement that, again, empowering the person is the way to go, especially in healthcare nowadays. We're just focusing more on the orthopedic standpoint. And if I
Absolutely.
can kind of add in that standpoint, I mean, you're
Yeah.
such a phenomenal practitioner. In a sense, you're a fixer, and people come to you because, hey, get me out of pain. And now, what we're doing together is also giving the education and then also additional sessions that people can come to you and say, okay, you helped me get out of discomfort. Now, here's what I can do to solidify a better lifestyle pattern. Here's what I can solidify to become stronger, more stable, and enjoy a better a health span.
Exactly. And that's the one thing being in this area and just overall through the arc of my practice,
Hmm.
every single person is an athlete. My hairdresser, my
Hmm.
landscaper, my Olympic hammer throw athlete to my high school linebacker slash running back to everywhere from pickleball to tennis to running and triathletes, or just, you know what, I want to make sure that I can just go enjoy the time with my grandkids, get on the floor with them, play and enjoy and get back up and go do. Every single one of you is an athlete.
Hmm.
As much as you have traveled the world to take care of some of the most amazing athletes in the world, every single person in my care, you're an athlete. All right? You deserve to be cared for, but you know what? You need to be challenged just as much in taking ownership of your body, doing the things correctly so that, yeah, your health span as long as you want it to be, and you go do the things that you love to do. So let's wrap it up, buddy. Coming
Hmm.
down July 9th, 10th. We're going to do 9th in Lakewood Ranch and 10th in Sarasota. I'll put things together and we'll have some fun. Anything you want to say in closing?
No, just looking forward to being with you. We always have so much fun, and I love being able to kind of team up with you and share our passion and our mission statement with people.
Awesome. All right. Have a good one. See you in a couple of weeks, my
Awesome.
man.
Sounds great, brother. Thank you.
All right.